All right, what's going on, everybody? Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Let us know. Want to know how everyone's doing because I need to know if we're live though. Are we live? Let us know if we're live. Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? All right, we're live. What's going on, everybody? Figured I'd pop on here for a little bit. I'm gonna be by myself for this, so this is gonna have to be question oriented in here. So, um, kind of the come down from the Isaiah Simmons trade, which the Isaiah Simmons breakdown, by the way, is our biggest film breakdown that we've ever done, which is like crazy the kind of hype it is. But I think it's a pairing of like so many people. The debate was offensive tackle versus Isaiah Simmons in the 2020 draft. He's a freak athlete, but also it's like we haven't been tuned in to like what he's been in the NFL. You kind of just hear. But we're not going to see Isaiah Simmons today, even though I did put on my 5 guys to watch, just because I kind of just wanted to put Isaiah Simmons' name in a tweet. I want to share a text message with you guys that I got. Actually, no, I didn't. I sent it to Justin and Danny. I sent this text, thinking of streaming at 3 if anyone wants to join. I don't know when you're leaving, Justin. Just let me know. Just let me know. It wasn't a, hey, I need you guys to come on a stream. It was just, hey, let me know. And I got nothing from them. Nothing from them. And I was at 9:30 this morning and nothing from them. So go tweet at Justin and Danny telling them that they are very rude people. Because if they would have told me earlier, I would have tried to get, anyways, it's my fault that I didn't get a guest on for this. So send me some questions and I will answer them and see where the conversation goes. This is very casual. I'm excited for Sunday morning pregame shows. Like me, so the first game is home, but Justin will be on it because it's a Sunday night game. So me and Justin will be on it, and then me and Danny do the away games. So I'm excited to do that. Maybe we'll get Danny on that first Sunday morning. Like those are really enjoyable, and it's like we're not even doing analysis to touch, but we're just having fun. Thrill Collins says, "Do we think Hyatt plays today?" Yeah, So last year they played like borderline starter guys, even vets in this third preseason game. Like remember Blake Martinez and Kenny Galladay were playing. So because Hyatt is like he's not a starter, even though he's going to get reps with the starters when he's like last week and then once the season rolls off in a couple of weeks. But I do expect Hyatt to play, and people are acting as if the rookies will play too, Banks and Hawkins. Last year, the rookies, like Neal didn't play in this game. I don't believe he did, right? Neal didn't play. Kayvon didn't. Oh, Kayvon was injured, but I don't think Neal played in this game. Maybe he did though. But yeah, I do expect Hyatt to play tonight. We also haven't had like an official the Giants starters aren't playing, which is kind of I think it's going off of assumptions from last year. But you got to remember, like they played a little. They did what they did the first game last year, what they did last week for the rest of the Panthers, and in the second game they played a ton. So Joe Rozelle says, thoughts on if Darnay gets the majority of run today to either boost trade value or see if he can swim in order to make the roster to justify his salary, at least in the first 3 quarters. Yeah, Darnay is low-key. I didn't want to put him on my 5 guys to watch list because it's like I just don't feel like bringing in that Darnay Holmes hate for no reason. And there's other guys I'm happily watching where Darnay's. I'm not happily watching him. But yeah, I think Darnay is going to play a ton today because he's starting at nickel. He's playing nickel corner over the boy Cordell Flott, and then Cordell Flott's been playing on the outside too. So I do think Darnay is going to get a ton of playing time. And like, how much more do we need to see of Zion Gilbert out of FAU? So yeah, I do think Darnay Holmes is going to play a ton today. And it'll be interesting to see how he looks out there with Banks and Hawkins. Like, who does Aaron Rodgers go at? I think this, like, Aaron Rodgers going up against Banks and Hawkins with some, capable wide receivers. Garrett Wilson, obviously a really good one. Allen Lazard. I think Allen Lazard is a good test for a rookie corner because Allen Lazard's not if Garrett Wilson wins against the rookies, you're not happy about it, but you're also not stressing about it. If Allen Lazard is able to win consistently against the rookies, then you're a little worried about it. So I feel like Allen Lazard's a good barometer for the rookie corners. should be a good test for Neal today. Might get a better gauge of his development if he plays. Yeah, that's another guy who I don't know if they're going to play the starting offensive line. You would think they would want to. Oh, boy. Y'all thought you were going to see me sneeze on camera? You thought wrong. I still need to shave. Because this is a solid pass rush group from the Jets, but they have the alpha there. I know Will McDonald's had a good preseason. Jermaine Johnson, by the way, he played well when he got the opportunity last year. He just didn't get to play. Like his pass rush win rate and stuff like that's all good. And but they just never, which is another reason why I think the Will McDonald pick is a little weird. Like he just took Jermaine Johnson a year ago. So yeah, Neal, this would be a great test for Evan Neal versus Jets pass rush that has good depth. And Bryce, you got Bryce Huff. There's who's the other starter for them? He's a good player. I can't remember off the top of my head. Amad in mind says, get the likes up. Yeah, get the likes up. I can't even see them from the StreamYard thing, but get the likes up. We got 366 people in here. Should be 366 likes. I'm also going to plug something at the end. It's our Facebook, but I will plug it at the end. Let's see. Let's get some questions. What else we got for questions? I think the ops were after Bobby. They were. It's called dust. Wait, wrong one I was clicking on. If Flott gets it together, our cornerback size and length would be crazy. Yeah, but at this point, it's like the coaching staff doesn't have any confidence in Flott. Like they don't even want to play him over Darnay Holmes. Hope to see Bryce Ford Wheaton play well tonight, says Tissones. Would like to see him make the team. To be honest, I don't want Bryce Ford Wheaton to make the team unless they are like cutting Cam Brown to keep Bryce Ford Wheaton. Because when you go through this wide receiver room, there's 7 guys that I want on this roster. And that's, the 4 that are locks and Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell, and Jalen Hyatt. I guess Wandale's – it's like Joe Shane said 2 weeks ago Wandale's going to come off the pup next week. Speaking of last week. Like when we were in Detroit, that's what Joe Shane said. And it hasn't happened, which I know we all in our head are like, hey, they're going to leave him on pup to start, it helps with the – but do they want Wandale Robinson missing do they want him missing the first 4 games of the season? But at this point, I'm starting to think that that's going to happen. So if Wandale starts on pup, you would like it. But I want Sterling Shepard and Cole Beasley both on this team. I think they both add value, even though they're not special teamers. And, hey, that depth very well may get tested. Hopefully not, but it may get tested. And I don't think Bryce Ford Wheaton is going to add a lot to the actual offense as a rookie. Now specials, yeah, but I just don't want to cut any guys who can actually contribute at wide receiver for Bryce Ford Wheaton. Also watch out that I would not be shocked if Casey Kreider, Sterling Shepard, and Cole Beasley are all cut on Tuesday, and then they're re-signed a day later, which is something we talked about it on the last podcast. That teams will do to slide guys through to IR. And that way, because those guys, they're not subject to waivers, so you can just re-sign them a couple days later. All right, what else do we got of questions? Which one of the backup offensive tackles needs to show the most tonight? The swing tackle spot is a key one for this and any team. Yeah, right now it's Matt Parrott, and I don't see it being anyone other than Matt Parrott unless Tyree Phillips. But Tyree Phillips, I hope he plays. He hasn't played any in the preseason, but I also like to see him at guard. Especially if Matt Parrott's taken that swing tackle job, which, hey, he was the first guy off the bench for Evan Neal in practice when Tyree Phillips was still practicing. So I want to see Tyree Phillips work at guard just in case, a couple of the interior guys go down. Can Tyree Phillips be successful there? So, let's see. So, but the swing tackle, Raymond, is Matt Parrott. And I don't see it being anybody else. Watching Bob Papa talk to Carl Banks is like watching the Entertainer talk to Bad Dog. Agree or disagree? So I've never actually watched Entertainer and Bad Dog because I'm watching the games during the game. But I actually think Bob Papa and Carl Banks do a pretty damn good job on their broadcasts of like keeping it even. Like I just saw a touchdown, like a really crazy touchdown for the Cardinals against the Vikings, and it was the Vikings home broadcast, and they acted like it didn't, like legitimately acted like it didn't. They're just like, touchdown to this guy, and it was a crazy play, and they just did not care. So that's something that actually kind of bothers me. Ooh, this is a good question. Isaiah Simmons number hopes 20s, 30s, OGs, 50s. So he was number 40. What number was he? He was number 48 to start. Then he switched to number 9. I don't see him shelling out the money to take it from Graham Gano. I don't think number 9 is that important to him. It's not like Kayvon where he wore it in college and he's a first round pick on this team and he's trying to get his branding done and all that. So I don't think Graham Gano is giving up number 9. Number 11's retired. Number 48. I think he'll probably just go back to 48 because right now number 48 is the backup long snapper Cam Lyons, who's surely going to be cut. So, and I don't want to give him one of the premier numbers. He's not a premier player right now. Someone said number 21. Right now, Bobby McCain is number 21. But I guess that number would look pretty good on him though. Number 21 is a great number for the Giants. Like everyone like that wears that number 21 just plays better. You got Tiki, obviously. Pep played really well in it. Landon Collins, who's been. I guess it went Landon Collins, Pep, and then Landon Collins again when he came back. I was very happy that Landon Collins was able to come back and get that number 21. So yeah, if Simmons ends up being good, 21 would be a great number. But if he's like the same player he's been, then not. Give Tay Banks 21. That's John May. That's a good question. What number does Tay Banks take? He wore number 3 in college. Obviously, he's not going to have that here. But I want him to have a traditional corner number. I think 21. Number 31 is that's Owen, so that's not a number he wanted. His number 33 is Aaron Robinson. Would they give him Aaron Robinson's number? Because I think he'd look good in 33. 30 is Darnay. Maybe you could take that. I wonder what Hawkins will take too. Hawkins is number 37 right now, but I think 37 actually looks pretty good on Hawkins too. So that's this. I think this rookie class is going to change the most since the 2019 class, where like DeAndre Baker had a different number in preseason. Julian Love had a different number. Who else? I guess those are the two ones: DeAndre Baker, Julian Love. Do you think Shepard will play today? Yeah, I do. I do think he's going to play today. He played last week only with the second string. He's basically been only a second stringer. So, let's see. 99 would actually be a good number for Isaiah Simmons. I'd like that. Does Javerius Owens make the 53? Says DK. Yeah, I think so at this point. One, he's a draft pick, so you'd ideally like to keep him around. And I think he's someone who could get claimed up by waivers. So, yeah, I think he does. And he has one of my favorite numbers in number 31. And that's another thing. Is like I love Javerius Owens, and he has a number that I love at number 31. 31 is my basketball number. Obviously, I did not wear number 31 playing offensive lineman. But in basketball, 31 was my number. 84 is great on Hyatt. I agree. I hope Hyatt stays at that. We also made a Jalen Hyatt t-shirt, and I would feel bad if people bought that and he didn't stay at number 84. But people know what they're getting into. Seahorns. Ben Rollo says, who's your pick for most surprising cut, Bobby? So I like this question, but I hate answering it because you get the tea leaves of what's going to happen through training camp of like guys on there. So like if you ask me like a realistic one, it'd be like Darnay Holmes could be the surprising cut. But the thing about surprising cuts is they're a surprise. Like Blake Martinez' surprising cut. Nobody saw that coming, no matter how many times the beat reporters tell you they did see it coming. No one saw that coming. Also, the Giants didn't plan to cut Blake Martinez. They just didn't get along, and Blake Martinez asked to be cut after that. So how could you see that coming? So no one could have saw that coming unless you were speaking directly to Blake Martinez. And I'm pretty sure that happened after Blake Martinez was not named captain after being a captain. And he just didn't like the way the coaching staff treated him. Whether that was right or not, I don't know, but that's what I hear. Let's see. Yeah, but speaking of which, Blake Martinez, kind of scumbag too. Like, I read that story, and if that stuff is true, that was like that is dirtbag stuff that he was doing. I think it'll be Bobby McCain, which is not huge. Which I agree. Like that could be another one, but again, those aren't like at these point. These guys aren't even surprises. So we'll see. But I think I've went and back and looked at it. Year one of a new regime is when you see the surprise cuts. Year two, you don't really have those. Like you kind of have a feeling of what's going to happen. Big Blue in the Bronx says, don't mean to spam Bobby, but Dennis Kelly got cut from the Eagles. He played with Philly. Yeah, he played with the Titans. Okay, that's and Green Bay is a swing. You think New Giants should get him if the waiver wire? Yeah, Dennis Kelly, absolutely. That would be a good addition. Like he's played a lot for the Titans, I believe. He's a good run blocker. I'm pretty sure. At least the reps I've seen of him. Let's see. Is this a weird year? I feel like there haven't been a ton of camp injuries across the NFL. Specifically with the Giants, there hasn't been, which has been really nice. Let's see. What about cutting Breida? So I've brought this up, Board and Arrow. What's going on, man? How you been? As this would be the surprise cut that people would be surprised at. And the reasoning behind it would be one, Eric Gray. They cannot cut Eric Gray after investing a 5th round pick. And plus he was the 4th pick of this draft for the Giants. So you can't cut him, but he's also not ready to play. But you want to keep Deshaun. They probably want to keep Deshaun Corbin. And the way they would do that would be like cutting Breida if they didn't want to carry 4 backs. But I don't think that's happening. But that would be a surprise cut. Also, when we did our 53-man roster episode in June, somebody texted me and being like, hey, a surprise cut could be Breida. They really like Corbin. And Corbin's done really well. So, but again, I don't see that happening, which is why it'd be a surprise. Would Cager be a surprise? Yeah, I think so. But I wouldn't treat it as such because I kind of am rooting for Chris Mark to make this team. Not just because I like Chris Mark, because I think he's the best blocking tight end, not named Daniel Bellinger on the team. Nick McLeod could be cut too, by the way, Ivan Vargas, because he's not played been in. So we'll see what his injury status is like. Big Dash says we're keeping 4 running backs. So yeah, and the Giants did last year before cutting Antonio Williams in the season. So I do think they're going to keep 4 backs, and we obviously did our 53, and I had them keeping 7 receivers and 6 safeties, 5 linebackers when you include these 2 special guys. So, Jihad Ward would be a surprise. And hey, I kind of give Jihad Ward a hard time because he adds no pass rush value and he's not a good third edge. But actually, I'm not even. You know what, Jihad Ward, there's no chance. Like that's up there with like, it'd be like Daniel Jones getting cut. Boy, this coaching staff loves this guy. Dial acting out. I wonder if my internet's been acting less bad because I now have YouTube TV and that uses the internet. That's a good question to ask. But I think I might have to upgrade my internet because it's never been issues until like the last couple of months since I got YouTube TV. All right, let's ask some questions about the game. How about that? What do you think about trading for Trevin Gibson? That's the Travis Gibson. That's the edge from the Bears, right? Bears' edge room is really bad, though. I'm pretty sure. I can't even find a stat page. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Last year he had 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 11 QB hits. And he played how many reps? 600. Dang, he played a lot for the Bears last year. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not going to say on a guy that watched the film, but I think there's so many ways to upgrade Edge 4 when you have O'Shane Simmons as it right now. Sills Army. By the way, that is something to watch for today, Ken. Now, this is like a kind of a fake stat I've made up, but I went back and looked at the receiving numbers for all of the preseason games post-COVID, since they've changed the 3 preseason game schedule. So they 2020 they didn't have a preseason, and then 2021 they brought it back with 3 games. If David Sills gets 19 yards tonight, he becomes the Giants' leader during that time period over Alex Bachman. Colin Johnson, if he had like a 120-yard game, could take that too. But I don't know. But that would be a surprise. That would be shocking. Make sure you guys tweeted at Justin and Danny saying they're rude. I'm going to be looking for that after this. Let's see. What do we got? Do you think Darnay could be traded with a pick swap like Bredesen or just cut? Yeah, I think so. I think someone might do that. Team that really needs like a nickel corner, play some zone coverage. Yeah, I would love that. I would really welcome that. But here's the thing: is if they couldn't trade Darius Slayton last offseason, I don't know if you're gonna be able to trade Darnay Holmes. Because it's not like you're taking even this big swing on like athleticism like you are Isaiah Simmons. So I don't think that would happen though. Usually those picks I think happen with like second year players and stuff. Like Darnay Holmes doesn't have anything left on his deal, so I would say no. What's the show schedule for the week? Devin Weir says. So we'll have a recap pod of this game out tomorrow morning. Then player profile episodes Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then we actually don't do an immediate reaction to the 53-man roster for a podcast. I do a quick video, but we don't do full podcast because we want to see how the waiver wires, what stuff is not actually real. So it's one of those episodes where we actually try and wait a couple days on it. But we'll have content out talking about it and socials and stuff. But that's the pod. And then we're back to 2 days a week. We'll have a mailbag the game week and then preview, and then we're back to 3 days a week with Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Very excited for this year. If we win Dallas week 1, man, I feel like Talking Giants might just set some records. We almost broke our daily download record with the preseason game recap the other day. And it's having a better first 7 days than the draft recap did, which is that's kind of wild. You usually don't break that record until the first win of the season or first game of the season. What do you think our biggest weakness is our biggest weakness against the Cowboys? I'm not going to say Evan Neal because I've seen some progression. You know what I'm really going to say is our corners. I think CeeDee Lamb is really good, and it's the one player who's kind of gotten the best out of Adoree Jackson consistently. But also, I think Brandon Cooks is one of the most underrated signings of the offseason or trades. He's really good, and Dak is a lot better of a player when he has that second receiver. So I really do think it's our corners versus their receivers. But I do think we're going to put points up on them, despite how good their offense is. Dak cooks us. Yeah, and Dak also does. And the Cowboys are usually better as it start of the season and then start to fade a little bit. Who wins today? Aaron Rodgers or our defense? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers because I don't think our starters are playing. They got Stephen Gilmore too, which I think that's a good addition. But if that doesn't worry me as a fan. Them adding Brandon Cooks does. I really think that's the most underrated addition of the offseason that nobody's talked about. By the way, Trey Lance is going to have a lot of weapons. That's we're not being homers if we call that a stupid trade, right? Dak Prescott's cap hit next year, it would be $60 million to cut him. It'd be $20 million. It'd be $20 million more against the cap to cut him next year, which is Trey Lance's last year of his contract. Unless they're and they also pay they gave Cooper Rush a contract too, right? Cooper Rush contract. Yeah, they gave him a 2-year deal worth up to $6 million. So they actually gave him a real backup quarterback contract. So to me, that's and they gave him a 4th-round pick. They outbid all these other teams who were doing a 6th round with a condition for it to turn into a 5th. That. I don't understand the Cowboys doing that at all. I really I just sometimes those things come back to bite you. I laughed at the Jalen Hurts draft pick by the Eagles. So sometimes, hey, when that stuff comes back to bite you, but I don't get it. Also, Michael Howard. He's not. I don't think he's good. They didn't think he was good coming out of the draft either. I don't think people watched his film. It was simply all traits, which is why Anthony Richardson is the one quarterback in this class where I'm he may be a star. I don't see Bryce Young being a star. I don't see C.J. Stroud being a star. Now, granted, I didn't watch these quarterbacks as in depth because the Giants weren't drafting one. But I'm also like, man, at what point do we stop doing the traits quarterbacks and being like, hey, you had to actually play quarterback well? Because like people say that with Mahomes, but Mahomes played really well. And Allen wasn't as bad as like some of the numbers look. But Richardson had some really bad film, but he also had some good stuff. But yeah, but you watched Trey Lance at North Dakota State playing against their competition, and he was inaccurate and he was late like all the time. And he had guys that just ran past everybody, like Christian Watson. Like Christian Watson playing against that competition would just straight up run past these people. Like they played in that national championship game that year, and they just ran the ball the whole game. I don't think Lance was on that team, but still. By the way, Justin likes to brag sometimes about meeting people. It was pretty cool. I took my dad, and my brother and my dad's friend to the race last night, for my dad's birthday, and someone came up and said, "Hey, Bobby, what's going on?" And that's the first time that happened in front of my dad. So he's like, "That's crazy." Fun race too, by the way. Really fun time. Richardson is also super young. Yeah. So like if the Giants were looking for a quarterback in this last draft class, Richardson would have been the one where I'm like, yeah, it makes sense to take him. Even though there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And especially with this Giants coaching staff, I feel like they would have done well with him. I thought I would love to hear the actual like word on that. I thought Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones more. Not that Mac is good, but he probably could have done more with him. Yeah, he definitely could have. I mean, Mac Jones has not been a horrible quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he was good his rookie year, and the last year was really bad with a one of the worst coaching staffs offensively in the NFL. Guys weren't even offensive coaches. So I haven't given up on Mac Jones totally. I don't think he's ever gonna be great, but I think he can be solid under that Bill O'Brien. But it would be very weird if they made that trade and then legitimately like someone in the organization like bullied them out of not taking him. Sean Sullivan says, Bobby, how painful the next 2 weeks for you and Justin? Or is it almost a nice break before the season starts? No, it is nice. So one, you have stuff going on. You have all the 53-man roster stuff. But it is the Labor Day weekend is very much like a hey, enjoy this because you got hopefully more than 18 weeks of like it's time to work. Like our schedule in season. I hate this. This sounds a little self-centered, but our schedule in the season is nuts. Like, so we have Jeff helping us out as a producer role, and we told him our schedule to like tell him, and they're like, well, we can't ask someone to do that. I was like, well, then we'll have to do it ourselves because this is the schedule we do. Yeah. 5 night games sucks. I don't know what that means. Oh, 5 night games sucks. Yeah, I agree. I'm petrified that Evan Neal hasn't gotten better. So here's the thing. He has gotten better, but I am petrified that he's not going to be good because his film doesn't look great. It looks solid. It looks okay, but he's not going to, like, I don't think he's not going to be like battling for like a Pro Bowl or anything this year. I don't think. All right. So going to get out of here. We will have a podcast up in the morning, 8 a.m. on YouTube. Should be on the podcast apps around 1 or 2 or 3 a.m. If you want to watch it live, we'll be on patreon.com/talkinggiants. And I'm also going to plug something right now. I'm honest, like I'm really going to, let me pull up the link for it. How do I pull up the page? Okay. Go like and follow our Facebook if you're on Facebook. I'm putting the link in the chat. So we have 43,000 followers on Twitter. We've got 42,000 on Instagram. On YouTube, we're nearing 30,000 subscribers. And on Facebook, which we've been doing since the beginning, it only has 4,000 followers. And it only had 3,300 until this week where I started like putting some effort into like inviting people that like posts to do it. So we need to grow that Facebook. And I put the breakdown on there of Isaiah Simmons. It got like 13,000 views. So trying to get that. So maybe even if you don't use Facebook, go like and follow it and like share it to your family. Also, week after the Giants' first win, we're going to do a $100 cash giveaway on there. So you're obviously going to have to be liking and following for that. So so if you can, go join the Facebook because it's embarrassing for us to have all like this success on every other platform and then Facebook just has nothing. So if you do have and you get like there's a lot of people still on Facebook. Like, do I use Facebook like I used to? Absolutely no. But like a lot of like my parents, they only use Facebook now. They're not big Giants fans, but it is what it is. All right, so yeah, first win is the Cowboys. We gotta win week 1. All right, so this will be the last. Like, we'll probably have a live stream sometime next week or whatever, because I'll be yearning to talk to you guys. So I really do appreciate you guys, especially solo. You guys made this enjoyable, allowed me to talk. So hey, listen, enjoy a win. I want to win the MetLife Bowl. We haven't won the MetLife Bowl since 2019. So we didn't win it in 2021. And we didn't win it in I don't think we didn't, right? And then we didn't win it last year. Davis Webb wasn't able to. Who caught a touchdown in the MetLife Bowl last year from Davis Webb? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Nobody got the right answer. I know this is on the delay, so I'll give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, it was Austin Allen. Austin Allen, the 6'8" undrafted free agent tight end out of Nebraska. It was Austin Allen. So I'd appreciate you guys. Like I said, Patreon if you want to watch us live. But yeah, let's get the 250 likes. Like before you get out of here. Appreciate you guys. Let's go Big Blue.